Okay, this is one other thing I've been wanting to go over with you guys. Various different people have asked me about the front groups of Scientology. So I'm going to take a minute and go over each one of those with you briefly. Okay, number one, the number one front group that Scientology uses, well, I'm not going to put them in any order. There's W.I.S.E, which deals with businesses. Doctors, dentists, chiropractors, physical therapists. And I'll go over that in a minute. There's Applied Scholastics, which tries to get into the schools. Narconon, which says it's a drug rehabilitation program. Criminon, which goes into the prisons. And Way to Happiness. Those are all their major front groups. Tonight, I'm mainly going to talk about W.I.S.E, the World Institute of Scientology Enterprises. Now, here's what happens with W.I.S.E. People basically get into W.I.S.E as a management consulting thing. They're doctors, dentists, chiropractors, physical therapists, in that range. Now, why is Scientology interested in them? Do they really want to help their practice? Probably some of them that are in there do, but the majority of the whole plan of W.I.S.E, it is all under the umbrella of the Church of Scientology. So you have to understand all of their statistics that they report in every Thursday at 2 go up to David Miscavige with the Church of Scientology. I don't care what he says, that's the facts, okay? W.I.S.E is part of the Church of Scientology, okay? They can't get out of that. They'll lie about it, but the truth is, it is. So, what are they really after? They're after your money. That's it. That's why they're after doctors, dentists, physical therapists. They realized, hey, this is a great way to get money. You know, they were having kind of a hard time getting new people into Scientology, and so they started going after the doctors, and doctors are, you know, they always want to expand their practice, so it was like, okay, let's go after them, and we'll help. We'll teach them a little bit about referrals, how to get a new referral, statistics. You know, there's a few things that fine, they're not bad, but you could buy them down at Barnes & Noble for $20. Their program costs $100,000. Okay, that's a lot of money to fork out. And you also have to realize this: once you get into W.I.S.E, you are always going to be considered part of the Church of Scientology. I mean, granted, you may not move over into that, but they're always going to be trying to pull you into it, okay? And people can say, well, I'm just going to do the management thing. Why not just hire a real management company? I mean, these people are constantly sifting people and listening and watching and teaching you, and pretty soon you're turning into a Scientologist, whether you know it or not, right? Let's say, this is a true example. I think I told you this once before, but I'm going to say it in case somebody missed it on an earlier video. A lady called me, this was like 4 months ago, and she said she lived in the Midwest. They were doctors, and they had gotten a little flyer about, you know, increasing your practice. So the wife said, yeah, let's go to Clearwater and do this. So they fly in, they have an interview with the wife. What do you think about Scientology? And she says, I don't want anything to do with it. I'm here for the management tech. They have 8 interviews with her husband. At the end of the weekend, he came out and said, either you join Scientology, this is after 17 years of marriage, either you join Scientology or it's over. You know, I'm a Scientologist. And this woman was crushed. I mean, she's hysterical on the phone. I talk to people all the time who call me up and go, how could this be, right? And I'm like, I know. How could it be? But it is. It's mind control. It's peer pressure. It's Tom Cruise, John Travolta, Kirstie Alley. You know, oh my God, it must be great because they're in it. Well, no, it isn't great. You heard Tom Cruise in the last interview that he did. He didn't mention a word about Scientology. Why? Because his career is going down the toilet talking about Scientology. You heard Tommy Davis, their PR for the Church of Scientology, lie through his teeth, which was the best thing for us that could possibly happen. It's like, fantastic. Oh, there's no disconnection. No, not at all. There's just in their ethics book that every single person who comes into Scientology has to learn about ethics, and part of it is, for anyone antagonistic or critical of Scientology, you have one of 2 choices: handle or disconnect. That's it. That's part of their policy. That's part of their religion. Okay, so then for their PR to say, oh no, you know, we don't have disconnection, not at all. And what about your beliefs, Tommy Davis? Well, like I said before, he didn't have much to say about that because they don't have beliefs. Scientology has no faith. They don't believe in God. Hubbard said, the supreme being, whatever you think that is. That was about the extent of how much they teach about any kind of higher powers. That's it. It just doesn't exist. So they don't have any beliefs. So he was like, well, it's what we do. Right. And I asked him about that. What about people that are like the downstats? There are all these homeless people and people that are hungry, and now all these people that died in this, this horrible, horrible, tragedy that happened around the earth. What about those people? Well, you know what, Tory? We don't have time for them this lifetime. We'll get them next lifetime. That's what they told me. Now, what happened is they realized they needed some PR, right? So they started their volunteer ministers program. And the only reason they are out there as volunteer ministers, now the people that do it really think they're helping. I used to go and try to help people. I did. I believed it. Until every time I'd come back and they'd say, did we get press? Did we get any press? Did they ask about L. Ron Hubbard? Did you get his name in? Anything? That's all they cared about. They never asked. To the people, were they happy? Did they need any more clothes? Did they need any more food? It was like, it didn't matter. It only mattered about the press. That's it. Because they wanted to report it upline to David Miscavige. And all he cares about is the money. If they can get more PR, they can get more money because they can sucker in more people. So back to WISE, if you're a doctor, if you're a dentist, if you're a chiropractor, if you're a physical therapist, I can't say it enough. Don't believe me. You go on the net and look at both sides, but look at them really intensely because we're talking about you, your practice, your family, your parents, your future, okay? All of that. And it's very important that you make the right decision, okay? So look into it, study it, learn it, and see what you think on that, okay? And for everybody that's part of anonymous critics, people that are helping expose the abuses of Scientology, I want to thank you because you have helped tremendously. I mean tremendously. And I can't say it enough. Thank you.